Morning. Let's begin. A thank you to Yehuda for giving the shir yesterday. Today's daf is Kuf Lamed Aleph 1, and we are picking up on the top of the daf, second line down. The last word on the second line, Tashma. So we'll say, so just remember again today, well not just remember, today we're going to be focusing almost exclusively on a statement of Rav Chisda. Rav Chisda made a statement on Kuf Lamed Amud Beis 130b, where he explained as follows, that if a person goes ahead and damages matnos kahuna, or you eat matnos kahuna, or so let's say again, I eat matnos kahuna, or I damage it. So Rav Chisda suggested that halacha l'maisa, one is not obligated to pay restitution for those damages. The Gemara entertained two possibilities, either because the pasuk says the word zeh, that you're only chayiv to go ahead and give matnos kahuna when they are in existence, but if they're not in existence, then there is no obligation, or because it's what we call mamon she'ein lo tovim, that it is money which has no claimants. Since at the end of the day, again, although it's supposed to be an interesting idea, although of course it is a portion that is due to the Kohanim, no particular Kohen could go ahead and claim that it solely belongs to him. Therefore, because of that, if one damages it, there is no restitution. So says the Gemara. So we're going to challenge Rav Chisda. No, we already started to challenge Rav Chisda yesterday. We're going to try to challenge him a couple of more. So Tashma, Harisha Ansu Beis Hamelach Grano. Interesting case. Let's say the king comes along and takes my produce from my threshing floor. So the Gemara says, Im bechovo, if the king seized it to satisfy my debts, meaning let's say I owe taxes, and so the king sends his tax collector to go ahead and take my stuff, then chayiv la'aser. Then ultimately, again, I am chayiv still to give meiser. Because mostly at the end of the day, halacha l'maisa, I owed that money, the king collected his debt. The fact that the king collected his debt doesn't prevent me from, or doesn't exempt me from separating out trumas and meisers, from other produce. V'im ba'an however, again, if this was just some type of unlawful seizure, if you look at Rashi, ba'an poras, behefsid va'alchinam. So let's say the king just seized my money because it's good to be king, right? So he just took my stuff. So then pater mila aser. Ultimately, in that context, I'm pater from going ahead and separating out any further trumas in my system. We'll say, what's the logic there? Take a look at Rashi. V'im ba'an poras. Behefsid v'alchinam pater mila aser. Katani mihas im b'choyo chayiv la'aser alma yesh lo tovin di'ilav dinu hu sheyishalim lo al karcho ma'chiv mitzvika halo pashka be'midis. So let's listen to this. So interestingly enough, the focus is really on the first case here. We see that if the king ended up seizing my property as a result of satisfaction of outstanding debt, I am still obligated to go ahead and pay my trumas and maestros. So you see from here that even if something happened ultimately to my produce, I am still chayiv to go ahead and make good to the Kohen. So this seems to contradict what Rav Chisda said before. Shani hasam, this is different. Why? To kamashtar shilei, because at the end of the day, halacha lamaisa, I am still benefiting, so to speak, from the seizure. Why am I benefiting from it? Because here the king will satisfy his debts from this property, but ultimately, again, it frees up the use of other properties. Look at Rashi, Shiny Hasam, the Kamashtar Shile, Hasam Lav Boat Saba Dayanin Tanan, Ella, Chiyuva Ba'alma, Kishar Chiyuva Maestros, V'chiyuva Vada Ikale, the Mishtar Shile Kilomar, Mistaker Huba, Shari Hayotarch Leframos. Because we'll say at the end of the day, this is not considered to be a loss if the king seizes this produce in satisfaction of my debts. I had to pay the debt regardless. The king seized it from here. Just because I paid my debt from the threshing floor does not exempt me from paying the Kohen his due. Fine. Tashma. What's another contradiction of Chisda? Amrlo, macharli b'nei me'ah shel para. So let's say if I go over to the butcher and I tell the butcher, sell me the b'nei me'ah, means like the insides of this cow. V'haya bahen matnos kahuna, and included in the purchase are the portions that normally go to the Kohen. What's the halacha? No stin the Kohen ve'eno menachal lo min adamim. So ultimately, again, I go ahead and I purchase the insides of the animal. I have to give the Kohen his due, and I don't have a right to go ahead and deduct anything from the purchase price. So I pay for what I bought, but I have to give the Kohen his portion. Lakach hemen of mishkal. If conversely I go ahead and I purchase the insides of the animal from the butcher, but I purchase it by weight. purchase it by weight, then what's the halacha? Noslan la coin umenachelo min adamim. I go ahead and I give the coin his portion, but I detract it off the purchase price. Why is that? So we're going to take a look at Rashi. Rashi says, "Lakach emira b'mishkol halitra kach v'kach v'shakal akeba nosan lokeach lakoin sharia gezel etzlo v'tzarach lashiv." So the Gemara says, why is this? Have amai lehavi kimazik matnos kuna osha achlan. I don't understand. Why should I be obligated to go ahead and give it? After all, why should this be different, or why should just not be? Why should this not be considered to be a case of where I'm damaging matnos kuna or I ate them? And if Rav Chisda is correct, then I should not be chayiv ultimately again to pay this to the kohen. Shiny hasam in this case is different. Why? The isnu beinayu, because we'll say the matnos kuna are still in existence. Even Rav Chisda, who says that technically speaking, if you damage the matnos kuna or you destroy the matnos kuna, there is no longer any type of liability. That's only if the matnos kuna do not exist. But if they actually are in existence, then of course even Rav Chisda would agree that halacha l'maisa you have to pay them. Good. Tashma. So we go weiter. Tisha nichse kohen. We'll say there are 9 things which are considered to be the property of the kohen. So what are they? Truma. So I'll say Trumas Truma. Trumas Meiser. So Trumas Meiser, remember again, is the portion ultimately again that is separated from the Kohen, or separated from the Levi's portion that is given to the Kohen. Chala, portion of the dough. Reishis Hagaz, the first of the shearings. Umatanos. So we'll say Matanos in general, remember again, refers to the Zroa, the Lechaim, the Keva, right? The foreleg, right, the stomach, good. So matanos, demai. So we'll say, interesting enough, demai, remember again, means produce where we have a suffix if it was properly tithed or not. So remember, because there's a suffix, we give it to the kohen. That's one of the matnos kuna. Bikurim, first fruits, keren and chomesh. So we'll say we're going to discuss these cases of keren and chomesh, where one goes ahead and accidentally goes ahead and consumes certain kohanic portions as an obligation to go ahead and repay the principal plus a penalty fifth. So the Gemara says, Lamai, what is when we say that these are the property of the Kohen? So we're saying when we say these are the nichse Kohen, that's what we're focusing on over here. This lashon of nichse Kohen. So what does that mean when we say nichse Kohen? What's the ramifications of that statement? So the Gemara says, Lamai, lav lahotzion bidayanin. Rabbi, does that not mean that the Kohen literally has the ability to go ahead and extract this money? In other words, that if a Kohen, let's say again, that if the Yisrael is in possession of any of these items, that the Kohen could take him to Beis Din and actually extract the money with Dayanim, which Rabbi tells me that what? Tells me that halacha l'maisa, this is not mamon she'in lo tovin, that a Kohen literally, this is not money that has no claimants. A Kohen literally has a right to claim this. Again, in contradiction to Rav Chisda. To which the Gemara says, "Lo, no, that's not what it means. Rather, lechidisnan. Rather, when we say it's nichse kohen, what we mean it is for the following ramifications. Lama amru nichse kohen. Ultimately, what do we say? What does it mean when we say that this portion is a portion of the kohen? Shekona bahen avodim vikarkos ubehematmeya. We'll say what it means is as follows. What it means is that once it comes into the possession of the kohen, it becomes the property of the kohen, to the point that he could mamish use it for whatever he wants. He could go ahead and sell these items and use it to go ahead and purchase avodim, karkos, land, behemat mea, even non-kosher animals. Balchov notlan bechovo. If the coin owes money to someone else, someone could seize these items in satisfaction of the debt. The isha biksuvasa, he could use it to secure the ksuva of his wife. The Sefer Torah, and ultimately he can use it to purchase a Sefer Torah. So we'll say this is actually very interesting. So what the Gemara is suggesting is as follows. You see, we thought that when the Gemara said that these 9 items are the Nichse Kohen, we thought that meant that the Kohen has an entitlement to it to the point that he would have the legal right to go and seize it from the Yisrael. So he brought this up then as a contradiction to Rav Chisda, because Rav Chisda said, remember again, Rav Chisda said if you damage matnos kahuna, you are not chayiv to make restitution. We're not sure about the reason for that, but one of the possibilities is because it's mamon she'in lo tovin. It's money which does not have a claimant. This statement then would contradict that statement of Rav Chisda, to which the Gemara says it's not a contradiction. When it says nichse kohen, it doesn't mean that the kohen has the right to go to the Yisrael and say, hey, give me my matnos kahuna. Rather, what it means is that once the matnos kuna come into the possession of the Kohen, they are the Kohen's money, meaning that a Kohen is permitted to use it for whatever he wants. See, I might have thought that since this is matnos kuna, maybe the Kohen has limited use. He can only use it for certain things. Kamash Molani, he could use it for whatever he wants. He could use it for his wife's ksuva. He could use it to purchase livestock. He could use it to purchase avadim, karkos, whatever he wants. So we'll say, so therefore, again, the Gemara still supports Rav Chista's idea that matnos kuna are mamon she'ena lo tovin, is money which has no particular claim. It is incredibly important because what this means is as follows: I'm in Yisrael. I have matnos kuna sitting in my granary. My Kohen friend comes over to me. He says, "You owe me. Give me that. That's mine." What can I say to him? I could say to him, "I owe Kohanim. I don't necessarily owe you." So I agree, I have to give this to a Kohen, but I have the right to choose which Kohen I give to. You don't have the right to claim this as your own. So the Gemara goes weiter. So the Gemara says, "Holy voy." Listen to this case. There was a Levi. Davachatov matnasa. So let's listen to this case. Look at Rashi. It's the first wide line in Rashi. Chatef matnasa. Shakishahayu hatinokos molichin hazra v'alechayim v'akev l'kohen chotfasam miyadeim. So we'll say, listen to this. So when they're children, apparently we're taking the Kohanic portions of the animal. They were taking the Zroa, the Lechaim, and the Keva. Right? These are different parts of the animal which go to the Kohen. So this Levi, it's always a Levi, right? This Levi went ahead and took it from the kids. He went ahead and he took the Matnos Kahuna from the kids. He stole it from the kids. So says the Gemara, so watch this. So asu amru le'rav. So we'll say, so now what's the shaila? The shaila is, what is the Levitic liability? So what is the obligation, right? What's the liability of the Levi? So asu amru le'rav, amru lehu, lo mistaya de lo shaklinon minei, ela michtaf nami chatif. So we'll say, Rav said something very interesting. Is it not enough that we don't make a Levi give matnos kahuna, but now the Levi has to take the matanos from the Kohen as well? Look at Rashi. Lo mistaya, lo dai kishu shochet as behemto. Bless you. Ein anu kofin oso loses matanos lekohen acher ela michtaf namichad. So we'll say, so Rav is saying something very interesting. What Rav is introducing us is the fascinating idea, which is that apparently a Levi is not obligated to separate out matnos kahuna. So right, Rav is saying, is it not enough that when this Levi shechts, we don't force him to give zroa, lechayim, and keva. We don't force him to give parts of the animal to the Kohen. So it's not enough that we don't force him to give. Now he's actually stealing the portions from the Kohen. It doesn't make sense. So the Gemara says like this. So we'll say, so now Rav introduced now we're going to focus on really, a Levi is not chayiv to give matnos kahuna from his shechita. When a Levi shechts an animal, he's not chayiv to give zroa, lechaim, and keva. He's not chayiv ultimately again to give, right, the chest, the foreleg, and the stomach. He doesn't have an obligation for that. For Rav, so let's analyze this. I ikru am mishkal nami lishkal minayu. Ilo ikru am rachmana patrayu. So we'll say, so listen to this. So Rav said, so the Gemara says like this. If Leviim are called Am, because that's the lashon of the pasuk, if the Leviim are called Am, then the nation of Israel, then they should be obligated to give matnos kahuna. If they're not called Am, then what? They should be pater from matnos kahuna. To which the Gemara says, so mesap galuhu I ikru am ilo ikru am. So the truth is, Rav himself ultimately again was mesupak. Are Levium called am or not? Are Levium included in the general populace of Klal Yisrael, or are they reckoned separately? Look at Rashi. Rashi says over here, the Rav, my daitei damar lo mistayed lo shaklinan minei, demashma shayinu yicholun lekofo lekach v'nimnan anu. I ikru am lishkol minei, dahame isa am me'izov chayazevach ksiv, v'im lo ikri am rachmana patre, umay tibus avdilan gabayu. So it's actually very interesting. So Rav makes it sound like, is it not enough for the Levium that we don't take matanos from them, but now they also go and steal the matanos going to the Kohanim. So Rav makes it sound like we're doing a favor for the Leviim that we don't take matanos from their animals. To which the Gemara says, I don't understand. Either Leviim are chayiv to give matanos, or they're not chayiv to give matanos. Why does Rav make it sound like we're doing a favor to the Leviim? To which the Gemara says, because Rav is actually not sure categorically where Leviim fit in. Are Leviim part of quote-unquote Am, or something separate from Am? So because we are mesupak, because we are unsure, if ultimately, again, the Leviim are part of Am or not part of Am, therefore what? Misafek, we do not take matnos kahuna from them. So what Rav was saying was, it's not enough, the Leviim benefit, because misafek, we're not making them separate matnos kahuna from their animal. But that this Levi has to go and take the portions that were separated for the Kohen. So Gemara says, Rav Papa, Yosef, Rav Papa. So Rav Papa goes, so this I want to point out. So this is actually very important. So this is the Shita of Rav. The Shita of Rav is that there's a suffix concerning the Leviim, whether or not they are considered to be Am or not. Right? Are they included in this general statement of Am or not? Again, if you're included in Am, you're obligated to separate matnos kuna. If you're not included in Am, you're not obligated to separate matnos kuna. Rav apparently was mesupak, right? He was in doubt. Are Leviim part of Am, not part of Am? And misafek, we did not make the Leviim separate out matnos kuna. Okay, that's position of Rav. So here we go. Yosef Rav Papa, Vika Amar Lala Hashmaita. So we'll say Rav Papa was going ahead, and he was saying over this particular halacha. Look at Rashi, the Hashmaita, the Rav Misafkele. The Rav will say that Rav was Mesupak, whether or not Leviim are included in this Am or not. Esvei Rav Idi bar Avin Rav Papa. So Rav Idi bar Avin raised the kashan Rav Papa. Arba matanos aniyim shebekerem. So we'll say there are 4 matnos aniyim. There are 4 portions that are given to the pauper that ultimately, again, deal with the vineyard. What are they? Haperet, va'olalos, va'shicha, va'peya. So we'll say we're going to discuss what all of these items mean. So olalos means if you leave underdeveloped grapes, you leave on the vine for the pauper, that's olalos. Peret, Rabbi say we're going to see, actually Rashi and Amud Beis talks about peret, is anavim hanoshim b'shas b'tzira. It's the grapes that fall down ultimately, again, during the time of the harvest. So that's peret, olos, shichacha, and peah. So we'll say those are, so shichacha, remember again, also refers to clusters that are left behind. Peah refers to leaving a corner. So these are four matnos aniyim that apply to the vineyard. The shalosh shebetvua, and I will say there are 3 matnos aniyim, 3 portions for the poor, which apply to my grain. What are they? Leket, shichacha, and peah. So I'll say ultimately again, leket, shichacha, and peah. So right, so leket referring to individual stalks that are left behind, shichacha referring to bundles, peah referring to the corner that I leave behind in the field. Shnayim shebe'ilan. There are two matnos aniyim that apply ultimately again to trees, and those are shichacha and peah. Kulan ein bahen tavas hana lebaylim. And I will say this is actually very interesting. All of these items, there's no tavas hana. I will say tavas hana means like this: that although there are certain portions that I am obligated to give, tavas hana means I would have a choice as to give them to. So, for example, when it comes to portions that I give to Kohanim and Leviim, I, a Yisrael owner, have tovas hana. Tovas hana means I can choose who I give it to. So if a Kohen or a Levi shows up at my house and demands that I give him the Kohanic portion, the Levitic portion, I can say, no, I'm not giving it to you. I happen to have a cousin who's a Kohen. I want to give it to him. I have a cousin who's a Levi. I want to give it to him. That's tovas hana. When it comes to matnos aniyim, when it comes to gifts to the poor, there is no tovas hana. Rather, again, any ani who shows up at my door has the right to seize it. Va'afilu ani shebi yisrael motzim yado. I will say, but actually very interesting. The halacha is that aniyim are also obligated to give these portions. An ani who has a field, or an ani who has trees, or an ani who has a vineyard, we go ahead and we extract these matanos from the ani as well. Okay, Meiser Ani Hameschalik Bisok Beso. Rabbi say ultimately again Meiser Ani, which is literally again the actual Meiser, that in the years that we separate Meiser Ani, Yesh Bo Tavas Hana Lebailim. Ultimately, Rabbi say by Meiser Ani, that I have the right to go ahead and decide who I'm going to give it to. Vafilin Ani should be Yisrael, Motzin Oso Miyado. And Rabbi say even an Ani has to give Meiser Ani. Ushar matno skuna, but all of the other Kohanic portions, Kigon, Hazroa, Valechaim, Vakeva. So I'll say all the other Kohanic portions, Zroa, Lechaim, Keva, Ein Motzin Oso Miyado, Lomi Koin LeKoin, Velomi Levi LeLevi. So I'll say it's very interesting. All other matno skuna, we do not go ahead and extract them from one Kohen to another Kohen, or nor from one Levi to another Levi. Arba matanos shebekerem. So now we're going to analyze the Bryce a little bit. The 4 different matanos that apply to the vineyard, what are they? Haperet va'ololos hashichacha va'peah. So these are the 4 portions that ultimately apply in a vineyard. Parrot and olos, which as we said before, so olos rabosai is underdeveloped grapes. Peret, we're going to see again on Amud Beis and Rashi, means anavim hanoshim mishas betzira, the grapes which fall down at the time of the harvest. Dichsiv the karmacha lo solal uperet karmacha lo selakit uksiv ki sev tsar karmacha lo sola acharecha so amar Rabbi Levi acharecha zu shichacha. So acharecha Rabbi refers to the shichacha, that which is forgotten in the vineyard ultimately again cannot be collected but is left behind. Peah, so the Gemara says Peah, Gomer acharecha mizayis. I don't know if there's a din of Peah, but say because there is shava of acharecha from zayis, from olives. Dichsiv kisach bot zeisecha lo sefar acharecha. Says Rabbi say when you go ahead and you collect your olives, lo sefar acharecha. You shall Rabbi say the Torah use lashon of sefar acharecha. V'tarad Rabbi Shmuel shelo tito sif arto mimenu. Ultimately, again, you should not take the siferes from it. Shabbos say ultimately, again, we mean refers to peah. Refers to peah. Shlosha shebetvua. Shabbos say there are 3 portions. Ultimately, again, when it comes to grain, what are they? Leket, Amud Beis, leket, shechacha, and peah. So we'll say again, when it comes to grain, 3 different matanos that are given: leket, shechacha, and peah. Dichsiv ubekutzrechem es ketzir artzechem lo sechale paas sodcha. Ubikutzrecha veleket kitzircha vegomer. Ki siktzar kitzircha basadcha v'shachachta omer basada. So we'll say again, the Gemara is just going through, Bryce says, in this case, is just going through all the different portions that you have to go out and leave in your field. Shnaim shebe'ilon. Ultimately, again, there are 2 matanos that you have to give when it comes to trees. Hashichacha v'hapeah, which we'll say ultimately means that if you leave stuff behind on the trees, or for that matter, when you're picking stuff from the trees, peah refers ultimately to the corner of the trees, meaning to the corner of the field of your trees. Thus, dichsiv ki sachbot zeisecha lo sefar acharecha. When you go ahead, I will say, and literally sachbot, when you collect your olives, lo sefar acharecha. Torah use lashon of lo sefar. What does that mean? V'tana di Rabbi Shmuel shelo tito sif arto mimenu. You shall not take the siferes from it, which will say means that which is left over, you must leave behind. Acharecha, from behind you. Zu zeh shichacha. This ultimately refers to shichacha. The kula, and Rabbi say in all of these cases, ein bahen tavas hana'a lebailim. So I'll say it's actually very interesting. Any of the matnos aniyim, which are a function of that which is left in the field, there is no tavas hana, which Rabbi say means whenever it comes to any matnos aniyim that are left in the field for the aniyim, for the poor, you as the owner of that field do not have the right to decide which ani it goes to. So leket, shechacha, peah, peret, olalos, anything left in the field, any ani has the right. Rabbi say contrast that with what? With meiser ani, right? Meiser ani is going to be different. Meiser ani, just like other trumos and maisros, I do absolutely have the right to decide which ani gets it. So you hear that distinction? We'll see why that is. Anything left in the field, right? Anything left in the field, any ani has the right to it. Anything I actively separate from my produce, I have the right to decide which ani. Shabbos say, by the way, I'll tell you why this is a very important ramification. We'll see this in Gemara. Why does it have an important ramification? Shabbos say, so I have meiser ksafim, right? I separate out money, right? I separate money from my bank account to give to an ani. So why can't an ani come over to me and say, hey, I know you have money in that meiser account, right? Give me the money, right? I'm an ani. So remember again, it's based on this idea. Anything left in the field, that is equal opportunity for all aniyim, and I do not have the right to choose which ani gets it, which ani doesn't get it. Anything I actively separate from my produce, like meiser ani, which again, meiser ksafim is in the same type of family, is that I have the right to choose which ani gets that and which ani does not. So the Gemara says, my timer, why is it that when it comes to the matnos aniyim left in the field, there is no tovas hana? I don't have the right to choose which ani gets it, but any ani is permitted to take it. My timer, aziva ksivabu. Because I say, interestingly enough, the Torah uses the lashon of what? Aziva, of leaving it alone, right? Leaving it alone. The lashon of leaving it alone means what I will say, that I have to leave it in the field and have absolutely no rights to determine who gets it and who doesn't get it. Whichever ani comes and claims that as his own, he has the right to do so. So, va'afilu ani shebi Yisrael motzin osomiyot. And I will say, interestingly enough, even an ani shebi Yisrael, right? Even if a person himself is poor, nevertheless he is obligated in these matnos anim of leket, shichacha, peya, peret, olalos, dechsev, veleket kitzircha los selakit, la'ani velager tazavosam. So I'll say, so the pasuk says, "V'leket kitzircha lo selaket." The leket, right, that which is ultimately again left behind in the field, you shall not collect. For the ani and the ger, you shall leave it. Lahas here, ani al shalo. We'll say first wide line, 131b kof lamed aleph amud beis, comes to teach me that the ani is obligated to leave behind these matanos as well. Umaiser ani hamischalik besoch habayis yesh potanos. So I'll say, so two very, very important halachas. Number one, that when it comes to any of the portions of the poor, which are a function of things you leave behind in your field, which also refers to leket, shechacha, peya, peret, olalos, right? Peret and olalos, staff refer to grapes, either underdeveloped grapes or left behind clusters. Leket, shechacha, and peya refer to all types of produce in the field. The halacha is these items have no tovas hana. Therefore, again, when I leave them in my field, whoever takes it, takes it. I have absolutely no right to decide who it goes to. That's halacha one. Halacha two is that even an ani is obligated to go ahead and leave these portions in his field. First wide line. We'll say, however, again, meiser ani, which refers again to the meiser I separate out from my produce. I have tovas and I have to give it to a poor person, but what? I can choose who. I can choose which ani receives my meiser ani. My timer, what's the reason? Interestingly enough, nesina ksiva bay. Ultimately, I will say the Torah uses a lashon of nesina. Ki sechala la'asra is called ma'asra tzvascha b'shana shlish shnas ha'meiser v'nasata. I will say, hear this incredible distinction? The distinction between what? Nesina and aziva. Nesina and aziva. Nesina means I give it. So giving it, Rabbi say, is a premeditated act. I could choose who I give it to. Versus aziva, which means what? I have to leave it alone. Leave it alone means I have absolutely no control, ultimately, again, who gets it. Incredible. And I will say, even an ani has to give meiser ani. Right, and we go ahead and we make the ani give meiser ani. Dama Rabbi Eloi, Gamar leger mehasam. I will say we learn out of Gzer Shava of leger hasam. I will say is from leket. Ma lahalan musar ani al shalo. Just like an ani has to observe the halachos of leket, afkan musar ani al shalo. So to Rabbi say over here, the ani is obligated ultimately again from meiser ani as well. Ushar matanos kuna, I will say, and when it comes to other Quranic portions, Kagon, Hazroa, Valechayim Bakeva, Ein Motzian Osan, Lo Mikoin Lakoin, Velo Mi Levi Levi. Now, I will say, Now this is very interesting. When it comes to the other matnos kuna, what's the halacha? So interestingly enough, we don't force a kohen to give another kohen matnos kuna, nor will we force a Levi to give another Levi matnos levia. But we make an interesting observation. Ha mi Levi la kohen motziin. But I will say, what do you see from here? That you would make a Levi what? You would make a Levi give the matnos kahuna to a kohen. What do you see from here? Alma ikru am. Rabbi say, what do you see from here? You see from here that Leviim are called am. Rabbi say means another way of saying that Leviim are included in the obligation to go ahead and what? To go ahead and give Kohanic portions to the Kohen. Now, let's analyze this for just a moment. So remember again, what's happening over here? I know that's a question many people ask every day, right? That's happening over here. So remember again, we had a statement of Rav, right? Rav ultimately said that, the Gemara said that Rav was Mesupak, right? Remember again, this got started with the case of the Levi, right? The Levi who was stealing Kohanic portions from the kids who were taking the Zroa, the Lechaim, and the Keva to the Kohen. And there was this Levi who was chapping them from the kids. Rav said, is it not enough that we go ahead and we exempt the Levi from going ahead and giving matnos kuna, but now he's got to take additional matnos kuna? So he said, what does it mean it's not enough? Rav made it sound like he's doing a favor for the Levi that he's not making him give matnos kuna. So Gemara says, Manav Shach, either the Levi is chayiv or he's not chayiv. And we'll say, what does the Levi chayiv and matnos kuna come down to? It comes down to one word, which is am. Is he included in Am? Is he not included in Am? If he's included in Am, the Lashon of the Pasuk, then he has to give matnos kuna, and you're not doing it right. And if he's not included in Am, then ultimately again he's pot. You're not doing many favors. So we'll say, so now fast forward a little bit. The Gemara seems to say that what? What did the Brisa say? The Brisa said that a Levi is not obligated to give other Levi and matnos levia. A Kohen is not obligated to give other Kohanim matnos kuna. But what can you infer from here? You could infer from here that a Levi is obligated to give a Kohen matnos kuna, which sounds like what? Levi is called Am. First of all, if a Levi is called Am, then why is Rav exempting a Levi from giving Zeroah, Lechaim, and Keva to the Kohen? What's happening over here? To Alma Ikru Am. Kigon. We'll say, watch this. Kigon Hazeroa velo Zeroa. So we'll say what it means is like this. So we'll say, so if you remember again, the Bryce uses the interesting lashon of Ushar matnos kuna kigon Hazeroa v'alechayim v'akeva. Other Kohanic portions like Zroa Lechaim and Keva. Ultimately, again, we don't make a coin give a coin or a Levi give a Levi. So the Gemara says it doesn't mean literally Zroa Lechaim and Keva. Rather, it means like a Zroa Lechaim and Keva. For example, Umay Nihu Meiser Rishon. They both say, so what's the example of that? Meiser Rishon. They both say, now what it sounds like over here, what we're saying is that there are other things where we don't make a coin give a coin and a Levi give a Levi, but we would make a Levi give a Kohen. What's an example of that? Meiser Rishon. Meiser Rishon would be something that a Levi would have to give a Kohen. So which the Gemara says, what? Meiser Rishon, the Levi who? I will say Meiser Rishon is a portion of the Levi. That's a Levitic portion. To which the Gemara says, get ready for this. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. I will say rather again, the Gemara says this is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. The Sanya, Truma la Kohen. I will say Truma goes to a Kohen. This is actually an important brisa. Truma la Kohen. Meiser Rishon la Levi div Rabbi Akiva. So I'll say pretty straightforward here. Truma goes to a Kohen. Meiser Rishon goes to a Levi. Good. These are words of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah Omer Af la Kohen. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says you could even give Meiser Rishon to a Kohen as well. Amar Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah Af la Kohen velo la Levi mi Amar. Stephen Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says you could even give Meiser Rishon to a Kohen. But does Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah actually mean that you would only give it to a Kohen and not to a Levi? To which the Gemara says yes. We'll say, get ready for this. This is actually quite dramatic. There is a situation in which, we'll say, now again, remember, let's just keep clear on the progression here. Meiser Rishon is a Levitic portion. What the Gemara is suggesting over here, so step one is, well, you can even give Meiser Rishon to a Kohen. Even. Now we're taking it a step further, that maybe there's actually a leg to stand on to say you could only give Meiser Rishon to a Kohen and a Levi. The Rebbe say, where would there ever be a case where you could only give Meiser Rishon to a Kohen and not a Levi? Here we go. Lebasar dekansinhu Ezra. The Rebbe say this was after the kenas of Ezra, after the penalty that Ezra imposed. Rebbe say, what's the penalty of Ezra? This is incredible. Take a look at the second wide line in Rashi. Lebasar dekansu Ezra biyivamis. Amru, mipnei ma konsu leviyim b'maiser. Both say Ezra imposed the knasa penalty. That penalty took away maiser rishon from the Leviyim and gave it to the Kohanim. Why did Ezra penalize the Leviyim? Mipnei shelo alu b'mei Ezra d'chsiv va'avina ba'am u'b'kohanim u'b'mnei Levi lo matzi sham. Aval mikra muforish lo matzasi shekansam aval dugma yeshadavar sham. Ezra, listen to this. This is wild. When Ezra brought the Jews back from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael, there were Kohanim who came and there were Yisraelim who came. Who was absolutely absent? The Leviim. Guys got to do tshuva for this. Mamish. Leviim have a lot on their shoulders, right? The Leviim were absent. The Leviim were mamish absent. As a result, which I will say is absolutely fascinating that the Leviim as a group were absent from the Aliyah with Ezra. So ultimately, as a result, and now, by the way, when we say they're absent, there were some Leviim, but the Leviim as a group were noticeably absent. As a result, Ezra penalized them, which was they lost their Meiser Rishon. And Ezra gave their Meiser Rishon to the Kohen. Se'inach Hinami says the Gemara that yes, it is a true statement to say that ultimately, again, remember again, we're just trying to read into the Brisa. Brisa said that things kigon, right? What was the lashon? Kigon hazra. I'm sorry. Kigon hazra ushar matnos kuna. Kigon hazra v'alechaim v'akeva in motzin osan lo mikoyin lo koyin v'lo milei levi. So I say, and other matnos kuna like zra and lechaim, a kohen doesn't have to give to a kohen, a Levi doesn't have to give to a Levi. But we're inferring that what? That a Levi would have to give to a kohen. So we'll say, what's that case where a Levi would have to give to a Kohen? Meiser Rishon. Meiser Rishon is the portion of the Levi after the Kenas of Ezra. After the Kenas of Ezra, a Levi would have been obligated to go ahead and give his portion of Meiser Rishon to the Kohen. But I will say that's a case Kigon. That's like a Kohanic portion. Like a Kohanic portion, but not a real Kohanic portion. To which the Gemara says, Labasa de Kansu Ezra, Ema de Kansu Ezra de lo Yavinalu, Mishkal Minayu mi Amar. So we'll say, okay, I understand that halacha l'maisa from the takana of Ezra, you don't give Meiser Rishon to a Levi. But I will say, if somebody were to give it to a Levi, would we actually extract it from the Levi to give it to the Kohen? That seems a bit intense. Ela kigon zroa velo zroa umayniu. So we'll say rather again, we're talking about a case that is like zroa, like matnos kuna, but not exactly like zroa. And what is that? Reishis hagaz. Rather, I will say ultimately again, what does it mean? It means the first shearings. Look at Rashi. Elatar will say in the fifth wide line in Rashi towards the end of the line. Elatar kigon azroa, motziyim levi lakoin. So we'll say what's an example of something that is like zroa, but not zroa itself that we'd actually extract from the Levi to give to the Kohen. So the Gemara says, "My niu kigon zroa reishis hagaz, the hasam lo ksiv am, binami lo ikra am mechayvi." So we'll say, so for example, if the Levi were to have the reishis hagaz, the first shearings, you would extract that from the Levi and ultimately give that to the Kohen. Tashma, ze'aklal, kol davar shu b'kedusha kigon truma trumas meiser v'chala. Anything that has kedusha, like truma, trumas meiser, and chala, motzian osan miyadam. We go ahead and we extract it from them. Right? So we'll say now what this sounds like it's saying is we take this from the Levi and give it to the Kohen. The chal davar sheina b'kedusha, and anything that does not have kedusha, kegon hazroa v'alechayim v'akeva, ein motzian osam miyadam. So we'll say anything that doesn't have kedusha, like the zroa, the lechayim, and the keva, we don't extract it from the Levi ultimately again and give it to the Kohen. So the Gemara says, Kigon zroa v'lo zroa. It means something like the zroa, but not the zroa itself. What does this refer to? Meiser Rishon ulabasar dekansinhu Ezra. We'll say they refer to Ma'aser Rishon, so that literally I will say, if halacha l'maisa again, if halacha l'maisa, the Levi did have the Ma'aser Rishon, ultimately we would not go ahead and extract it from him even after the Knas. So we'll say after the Knas of Ezra, what we say is that what? If you have Ma'aser Rishon, who should you give it to? Who should you give it to? You give it to the Kohen. But if it's somehow wound up in the Levi's hands, you would not go ahead and take it from the Levi to give it to the Kohen. Tashma. Sorry, Kohanim, right? You do get it, but if the Levi gets it first, you don't extract it. So Tashma. Hashochit l'Kohen. Yeah, good. Hashochit l'Kohen l'Ovid Kochav. We'll see another interesting case. If you shecht an animal for a Kohen or for an Akum, so pater min matanos. So we'll say again, makes sense. You shecht, remember again, this is you're shechting this animal for the Kohen, ultimately again, or for an Akum for that matter. There is no obligation of matanos in that situation. Rashi says over here, Hashochet l'kohen, lahachi nakat hashochet l'kohen daleh the tabach ramya. But remember again, the obligation to separate out kohanic portions is on the butcher, right? So in this case over here, where the butcher himself is shechting for the kohen, or in this case shechting for an akum, there is no obligation ultimately again for matanos. Halalevi uli Yisrael chayiv. The Rabbi say, but again, what do you see from here? If you're shechting for a Levi, there is an obligation to go ahead and what? Separate out kohanic portions. Let's remember again, what's driving our entire discussion over here is Rav. Rav seemingly was Mesupak. Does a Levi have an obligation to give matnos kahuna or not? Zroa, lechayim, and keva. Rav was Mesupak. What's Rav's suffix? We'll say, what was that the root of Rav's suffix? Whether or not Levi are called what? Am. So we'll say from here it seems to be that if you're shechting, right, the Brisa says explicitly, if you're shechting an animal for a Levi, then what's the halacha? You are chayiv, or for Yisrael, you are chayiv. To which the Gemara says, Lo tema hala Levi li Yisrael chayiv. No. Don't say, so we'll say, so remember again, what the Gemara is saying is like this. The Brisa says, if you're shechting an animal for a Kohen, or for an Agum, you are not obligated to separate out matnos kahuna. The fact that I'm not obligated if I shecht for those two indicates to me what? What? That if I'm shechting for anyone else, then what? I am obligated to separate out matnos kahuna. Who's everyone else? There's only a Levi Yisrael. So what the Gemara says, no. Leave out Levi. Lo tema hala Levi li Yisrael chayiv, ela ima hala Yisrael chayiv. The Gemara say, all you need to infer from that is if you're shechting for a Yisrael, you are chayiv to go and separate out matnos kahuna. Aval Levi, my Rabbi say, what's the halacha if you're shechting for a Levi? Pater. Ultimately, again, I'm pater from matnos kahuna. If that's the case, then why don't you write Hashochet leLevi leOvid Kochavim pater min matanos? We'll say if that's the case, then don't phrase it as if you're shechting for a Kohen or for an Akum, but rather again say for a Levi and for an Akum. We'll say if you tell me that for a Levi, for an Akum, you're pater from matanos, then what? Certainly for a Kohen, I'll understand as well. V'od, furthermore again, Hatanya Hashochet leKohen uLeOvid Kochavim pater min matanos. Wow. So we'll say, furthermore, we have another explicit brisa. What does the brisa say? That if you're shechting for a Kohen or for an Ovid Kochavim, you are pater from separating out Zroa, Lechayim, and Keva. But if you're shechting for a Levi or for a Yisrael, then what? You're chayiv. I will say pretty explicit, which the Gemara says, Tiyufta derav. This indeed refutes the position of Rav. Now, I will say, remember again, what it does is, Rav apparently is a suffix, to which the Gemara says, there's no suffix. A Levi is chayiv in matnos kahuna. When a Levi shechts an animal, he is chayiv ultimately again in zroa, lechayim, and keva. Rav is not done. Amr l'charav tanayim. Rav says, no, hold your horses, right? Ultimately, this is a machlokes time. We'll see whether or not the Levi is chayiv in matnos kahuna, which I will say is a more fundamental issue as to whether or not the Levi is included in Am, is a machlokes tanaim. Here we go. This Sanya, we learned in a brisa, the Chipar Hasamik Shabbos is actually very interesting. So this is talking about the Avoda on Yom Kippur. Now remember again, the Avoda on Yom Kippur ultimately is mechaper for all different types of tumah. So the Chipar as Mikdash HaKodesh, so what's in the Kohen will atone for the Mikdash HaKodesh, he will atone for the whole, right, for the Mikdash HaKodesh, for the holy temple. So says the Gemara, what does this refer to? Zelif Nai V'Lifnim. So we'll say this refers to accidental tumah, right? Let's say that if the Kohen or someone accidentally entered into the Kodesh HaKadoshim in a state of tumah, Oel Moed. What does it mean when it says he atones to the Oel Moed? Zeh Heichal. This refers to someone who may have accidentally entered into the Heichal, to the Beis Hamikdash proper, in a state of Tumah. So I'll say, so remember, so good. Heichal, so Mizbeach Kimashma'o. Mizbeach refers to if the Kohen, or for that matter, someone else, went onto the Mizbeach in a state of Tumah. Yechaper, he will atone. Eila Azaros. This refers to the courtyards. If someone accidentally entered into the courtyards in a state of Tumah, the Kohen has the ability ultimately to what? To atone for all of these things through his avodah. Kohanim, we'll say, here we go, this is very exciting. Kohanim, who does Kohanim refer to? Kimashmo. So we'll say the avodah in Yom Kippur atones for any of the Kohanim who may have accidentally entered into any of the precincts of the Beis HaMikdash in a state of Tumah. Am HaKahal, who does that refer to? Elu Yisrael. That refers to Yisrael. Yechaper, Elu HaLevim. So we'll say Yechaper refers to Levim. We'll say, what do you see from here? What do you see from here? What do you see from here? That Levim are not included in the phrase of Am. Am, Hakal refers to Klal Yisrael. Levim have their own limud, right? Levim come from the extra word Yechaper. V'tanya idach, get ready for this. There's another brayso. Yechaper, Elu Avodim. The Yechaper refers to Avodim. If Yechaper refers to Avodim, then where are Levium learned out from? In this drasha, Levium would be learned out from Am HaKal together with Yisraelim. Wow. So we'll say, see, here you see it. My love, b'hakam eflagi. Here we go. Are they not arguing about the following point? Demar savar ikru am. Umar savar lo ikru am. We'll say ultimately again, what do you see? What's the machlokes? We'll say the machlokes in the drasha is, do you learn Levium? Do you learn Levium out from Yechaper, or do you learn Levium out from Am? And I both say, now at first glance, this might seem like a relatively not unimportant, but what's the right word? Not irrelevant. Minor. Right? Thank you. Right? Minor. Come on, people, right? Minor machlokes, right? Remember, the bottom line is the same, which is at the end of the day, the avodah of Yom Kippur atones for everyone's tumah, right? If anyone accidentally entered into any part of the Beis Hamikdash in a state of tumah, the avodah of Yom Kippur goes in and atones for them. Drasha number 1 learns out Levium from Yechaper. Drasha number 2 learns out Levium from Am. Okay, fine. Minor machlokes. No, it's not. Because ultimately, again, whether or not Levim are learned out from Yechaper or Am has dramatic ramifications by what? By matnos. If you remember again, the obligation to give Kohanic portions to the Kohen devolve upon who? Anyone who is defined as Am. Anyone who is defined as Am. So if you define Levim as part of Am, their obligation is Ron L'chaim Mekeva. If you don't define Levim as part of Am, then they're part of Mekeva. So V'Rav, so obviously Rav will say it's machlokes. It's machlokes tanoim. The Rav is svir lekaitana lema v'svir lekaitana lema. Rabbi say, so listen to this. So Rabbi say, what does the Gemara say? Rav, choose a side. Choose a side. Who do you paskin like? If you hold that Levium are called Am, then ultimately they're obligated in Matnos Kuna. If you hold that Levium are not included in Am, then they're not obligated in Matnos Kuna. Tell us who you hold like. To which the Gemara says, Misapkile. The truth is, Rav is Mesupak. He's just not sure. Ika haitana. Ultimately, the Gemara say Rav was Mesupak. Rav was not sure, and that's why I both say when you had that fiendish Levi, right, who was stealing the matnos kuna from the kids. So Rav used this very interesting lashon. It's not enough that we exempt him from giving matnos kuna, but he's got to steal the matnos kuna as well. So he used that interesting lashon of we exempt him. We exempt him. I both say means what? That we're not sure what the halacha is. So misafek, we tell him he doesn't have to give matnos kuna, but in reality, we're not exactly sure. Do we paskin that he is part of Am, not part of Am? We'll say, and we conclude, Tana Darash Meremar, Hilchasa Kavose Dirav. I will say, halacha is like Rav, namely, that we do not go ahead and take Zroa, Lechaim, and Keva from a coin. But I will say, but understand, when we say, isn't that interesting? Hilchasa Kavase Dirav, that what? that it's a suffix, right? Hilchos hakavasei dira, that it's a suffix, and from suffix we do not extract zroa lechayim and keva from a Levi. Furthermore, again, I will say the hilchasa kavasei de Rav Chisda, and I will say ultimately the halacha follows Rav Chisda. That was on the top of Kuf Lamed Amud Beis, which said that what hamazik matnos kuna. If you go ahead and you damage matnos kuna before you give it to the Kohen, or you eat matnos kuna before you give it to the Kohen, pater milashalim. Ultimately, again, you do not have to go ahead and pay. Now, I will say, now the logic for Rav Chisda's statement, whether or not it's because ultimately, again, it says zeh, that there's only an obligation to give it to the Kohen when it's existence, or it's mamon she'ein lo tovin, that's still a machlokes. But I will say, bottom line, important pieces of halacha, if you're a Levi, it is a good day for you, right? Because Leviim do not have to give zroa, lechayim, and keva. Apparently, misavek, we paskin like Rav, and we paskin like Rav Chisda, namely that if you damage matnos kuna, you are not obligated to make restitution. We'll stop over here for today. If anyone would like to do mechiras chametz, the forms are right on the back table over there, together with a pen.